everybody and welcome back to Inside Number 23, my channel which is all about knitting and sewing and generally living the craftiest life possible. My name is Katie and you can find me on all of the social medias as Miss Lavelli. I am most active on Instagram though. And you can also find all of the show notes for this podcast, even though I still haven't uploaded last week's, in our Ravelry group, and that is Inside Number 23. You can find it just by searching Inside Number 23 in the groups tab on Ravelry, and you can also find details of all of our KALs and just general loveliness because the group is filled with wonderful people. If I do say so myself, you guys are amazing. I just want to say a big hello and welcome back to any of my long-term viewers, and welcome to any new viewers as well. I am joining you as always from a very grey, a very rainy, a very dreary Hertfordshire, which is just north of London in the UK, where I live with my husband Emrys, with our little pug puppy Rolly, who is very cross with me this morning because we took him for a walk in the rain and he was not best pleased. Poor little pup. Welcome back. It's lovely to be back with you for another week. I have a huge amount of stuff to share with you and I'm finding it a little bit insane that it is March. It's March, guys. We're podcasting in March and it's all gone by really quickly. It's been a very busy, very hectic week here on my end. I am preparing with great fervour for Edinburgh Yarn Festival, which is next weekend. So this is going to be our last episode before Edinburgh Yarn Festival. It also means that because I am going to be coming back from Edinburgh on Sunday of next week, I will not be recording a podcast next week either. I will be uploading some vlogs and videos around Edinburgh, so you will be getting a video fix, don't worry about that, but it is going to be 2 weeks before our next episode of Inside Number 23, so just bear that in mind. Yeah, I'm a little bit bummed because, as you may be able to hear, I'm not sure if it's coming across, but I seem to have picked up a cold. Another cold. I know, I've had quite a few recently and it has literally just come on this morning, pretty much. A matter of days before I'm supposed to be heading to Edinburgh Yarn Festival, something I've been looking forward to the longest time, and I can't believe that I'm getting a cold. But basically I'm going to do my best to edit around any sneezing, any sniffling, anything like that, but if anything sneaks in under the wire then I do apologise, as it would be really vile for me to just be kind of snuffling through this episode, so I'm going to be doing my very best. And don't worry, I'm taking very good care of myself to try and make sure that I beat this bug before it becomes anything more horrible, but yeah, it's a bit rubbish that you get a cold literally just before you're going to be going away on a holiday. Ugh, rubbish. I have a couple of bits of administrative stuff to be talking about before we get on with the main body of the podcast, and I have some really fun updates to share with you regarding our KALs. I am currently hosting 2 KALs on this channel. The Harry Potter KAL, it's a year-long knit-along for which I am drawing prizes at the end of each month, and it's just a big mess of Harry Potter themed goodness, and thank you to everybody who's been getting involved. It's been amazing. I'm also hosting the Andi Satterlund, which is up until the end of March, so just the end of this month, you guys, and then we'll be a 1 KAL channel again. But it's to knit a garment, any garment, by the incredible, wonderful designer Andi Satterlund. And again, there are a lot of finished objects that are popping up in the Ravelry group, so thank you so much to everybody who's been getting involved. You are truly an inspiration, and it just makes me very happy that clearly both of these KALs are bringing lots of knitting joy across the podcasting world, so yay! But anyway, I have the pleasure of drawing the February winner for the Harry Potter KAL this week. So hold on to your hats, guys. It might be you that's winning the most amazing prize. Speaking of the most amazing prize, the prize for February is this incredible project bag, which was donated by lovely, amazingly talented Amber of Maker's Haven, and it is Harry Potter themed, but in a beautiful, subtle way. I just love it. I have a bag very similar, which I adore. It's one of my all-time favourite project bags at the moment, so thank you so much, Amber, for donating that. To go along with it, we also have this gorgeous skein of yarn, which was dyed up by lovely Cindy of Mon Sheep Shop, and I just couldn't help myself. These two I think they just go perfectly together. I mean, maybe a pair of Hermione's everyday socks in the Harry Potter bag. Maybe that's what you would like to do. Honestly, you can do whatever you want with them, prize winner, who I'm going to announce now. thank you to everybody who entered a finished object in the February thread. It was kind of insane how many people had finished objects. I'm just so thrilled for all of you. Thank you for getting involved. But I have drawn a winner at random, and I'm really excited about this one because when I saw the project I was just like, that's amazing. But it's Sahani, that is your name on Ravelry, but your actual name is Sabine, and you are from Germany. And Sabine completed a Weasley jumper for February, and I just think it's amazing, and it looks beautiful. It's very Slytherin themed, I think. Sabine, are you a Slytherin? That's absolutely fine. We Hufflepuffs, we love all of the people, but it's beautiful, and it just got me really excited to see another Weasley jumper out in the world. So congratulations. Sabine, I saw that there's a possibility that you might be heading to Edinburgh Yarn Festival as well, and if that's the case, I may be able to just bring your prize to you and give it to you at Edinburgh Yarn Festival. If I've got the wrong end of the stick, just drop me a personal message with your address and I can send it to you that way, but if you're happy for me just to bring it up to Edinburgh with me, maybe that will be quicker and more fun for both of us because then we can meet in person. But let me know, just drop me a message, and I really look forward to hearing from you, and congratulations again. While we are in the kind of prize frame of mind, I thought that now would be a very good time, seeing as we're finally in March, the last month of the Andi Satterlund, sorry, don't know the name of my own KAL. It might be fun for me to show you what I have selected to be the prize for the Andi Satterlund. I'm really excited about this, you guys. I've been hanging on to both of these prizes, one for quite a long time and one for not so long, but I wanted it to be for something special, and I just think that they go perfectly together. Now, first of all, I have a project bag for you guys, and this was donated by lovely Jennifer, who has a shop called Engelbrecht Makes. And the special thing about this bag, you guys, is that she was actually inspired by Inside Number 23, by everything that we do here, to create this bag, which she is still currently selling in her shop, by the way, so if you want one of your own, head over there. It's called the I Heart Katie bag. How adorable is this? And I have it here, and it's all kind of wrapped up, but it's a kind of two-tone project bag, so you can see we have this beautiful green, and my goodness, this green is just, I'm obsessed with it. But the actual main design of the bag is this little girl with a balloon, with a fox with a balloon, and you know how much I just love foxes. It's just amazing. It's just the cutest thing. And then on the zip we also have another little fox progress keeper that is on there, and I've been hanging on to this for a while. Like I said, Jennifer actually sent this to me a while, so thank you so much, Jen, for kind of hanging on and waiting for me to share this on the podcast. But it just had to be the prize for the Andi Satterlund because it is a KAL that's very close to my heart, so you should have the I Heart Katie bag. To go along with that, I am also going to be throwing in a very kind and generous donation from Sue and Chelsea of Legacy Fibre Arts. Yes, you will be winning a skein of the Valentine's Day colourway. I believe it's Will You Be Mine is the name, I had to check that, but it's a skein of this gorgeous yarn. It's on a MCN base, merino cashmere nylon base, and it's all these beautiful oranges and pinks and reds, and it is glorious. I am so happy to be sharing this with you. And they've also included in there, you may not be able to see it, but a little badge, a little pin of their logo. But these two will be going together to be the prize for the Andi Satterlund. So do finish up your project. If you're a speedy knitter, believe me, you may still have time to start a project and finish it by the end of March, because a lot of the Andi Satterlund patterns are in heavier weight yarns. So get involved, you still have time. Just you know, power on through and get those projects finished, because you could stand to win this amazing prize. Thank you to Sue and Chelsea and to Jen for donating them. It's really appreciated. And yeah, I can't wait to draw the winner at the end of this month. Yee! Okay then, with all of that done and out of the way, I think it's about time that we move on to our regular segments, and I'm starting this week, as I always do, with what am I wearing? And to be perfectly honest, there was nothing else that I could choose to wear this week, considering the winner of the February Harry Potter KAL giveaway, Sabine, finishing up her Weasley jumper. I had to wear mine. So you can't really see it in shot. I'm going to hop up just so you can see it in all its glory. This is my Weasley jumper, you guys. I altered the pattern slightly. It comes with an H in the original pattern, and I obviously had to have a K for Katie, in case you don't know. And yes, this is an Aran weight jumper. It knits up in 2 seconds. It's the simplest pattern in the entire world. I always suggest this as a kind of first sweater pattern if you are a Harry Potter fan. I often think if you're not a Harry Potter fan, you probably wouldn't want to knit yourself a Weasley jumper, but I love it. It's very, very big and snuggly and oversized and gorgeous. Like I said, it's Aran weight. I knit it up in Rowan felted tweed in the Aran weight, as I keep saying. And yeah, it's pretty much as simple a project as you can get. It's 2 big rectangles which you sew together, and then you pick up stitches for the sleeves. One thing that I would say, it's so simple that it gets these kind of bingo wings going on in the sleeve. If you can see how big that is, it's huge. My arm finishes here and there's that much sleeve left. If I were to do this again, I would definitely kind of adapt the sleeve slightly so I didn't have the kind of jumper bingo wings going on. But because this is such a kind of slouchy comfort garment, it doesn't really bother me all that much, to be honest, that it looks a little bit odd around the sleeves, because when my arms are down, I don't think it's that noticeable. And I just enjoy it, like I said, as a really kind of cozy comfort garment, which is particularly appropriate seeing as I'm a bit under the weather. Why not throw on your snuggliest jumper and just enjoy it? But yes, that is what I'm wearing this week. So moving on from what I'm wearing, it's time for What's on My Needles? And my goodness, you guys, I have some stories to share with you this week. I really, really do. I have a finished object. It's not the finished object that I'd wanted to be sharing with you this week. I'm thrilled that this finished object is finished. Believe me, I'm absolutely thrilled, but we'll come on to one of the other works in progress in a second. But to start off with, let me show you my finished object, which I am so happy to have off the needles, and I love it so much. It's my snow day shawl. This is a pattern by lovely Mina Philipp. She gifted me this pattern after I saw her in New York. Let me just show you the entire thing. Here we go. It's quite long, as you can see. It's gorgeous. And I knit this out of Green Mountain Spinnery in their DK weight yarn in 3 colours. The kind of more natural colour is grey, then we have Evergreen, which is this really lovely kind of khaki green, and then the purple is called Purple Rain. And I love it. It finished blocking out this week and it's gorgeous. Oh, I just love it. It's a triangular shaped shawl, as you can see, and look at it. Oh, I love when you wrap this around your neck like this, how you can pick up all of the little bits of colour all together. There is one little bit of yarn in here that I haven't yet woven in. I wove in all of the other ends, but somehow I managed to miss that. But yes, I love it, and these colours just make me so happy. I love this yarn. My goodness, Green Mountain Spinnery yarn is just so special. Even after blocking it with some kind of lovely orange blossom soap that I have, it still has this lovely sheepy smell to it. It's just lovely. Rolly loves this shawl. I mean, I think it's the sheepy smell he can't get enough of, but he's always trying to kind of lick it and suck it. He's a very kind of, he's into sheep, apparently, my dog. But yeah, I absolutely love this shawl. I just think that it's beautiful. I did have a couple of issues with it, none of which are to do with the pattern, all of which are to do with my inability to kind of differentiate between different yarns and the yardage that's involved with different yarns and gauge when it comes to shawls. I pretty much never do a gauge swatch when I'm knitting a shawl, because I just think, oh, it'll be fine, because, you know, it doesn't even really matter, because it's not like a close-fitting garment or a pair of socks or something like that. But this shawl is originally designed for Prince & Co in a sport weight, and obviously I was using a DK weight for this, which meant that I was playing some serious yarn chicken with this pattern. I didn't change the needle size of the pattern. I used the one that was kind of stated, and yeah. I first discovered that I was having problems when I started on this central section on the green colour, which you can see. I started with the grey, incorporated the green, went into solid green, and then you have the green and purple section here. Now I managed to complete the entire green and purple section. I had about that much, like literally that length of green yarn left, which made me kind of pause and go, oh, okay. So I've just managed to kind of get enough yarn for this green section. I hope that doesn't mean that I'm going to have any problems with the other colours of yarn. And I thought, you know what, it's fine. I only had that much left, but at least I had enough yarn. So hopefully that means I am definitely going to have enough yardage for the rest of the shawl. So I did the next section, the purple section, as stated in the pattern. By the time I got to this last portion, which is the kind of, in my version, the purple and the grey, I realised I was getting very low on yarn. There is supposed to be another repeat of this kind of textured pattern, so I decided, you know what, it'll be fine. I will just do one less repeat of that, and then I will have enough to do the final grey stripe, and then the grey stripe is also supposed to be cast off with a purple stripe. You can see from my shawl that didn't happen. I ripped the end of this shawl back, I think in total about 3 times, because I kept just trying to do more. First of all, I knit as much of the grey section as I possibly could, and then started to do, I think it's an I-cord bind off that we have on here. I started to do the I-cord bind off in the purple that I had left over. I think I got maybe half the way across and realised that I definitely didn't have enough yarn. So I ripped back that I-cord bind off, which was a little bit distressing because I-cord bind offs, they take a little while and they're not particularly difficult, it's just a little bit time consuming. So I then decided, okay, I will just knit to the end of the grey. This is supposed to be a much bigger section, this grey section at the end. I'll do all of those repeats and then I'll do the I-cord bind off just in grey. Not enough yarn. Not enough yarn, you guys. I don't even know what it was, but the I-cord bind off just ate up all my yarn. So I pretty much just had to rip back to almost just 2 rows of the grey before I did the bind off. So it's maybe 2 inches kind of shorter. I think it should be kind of this width, which has left it slightly asymmetrical because when I fold it in half, one of the wedges of that kind of half triangle, if that makes sense, is obviously skinnier because this was supposed to be longer, but it's so minimal that it doesn't bother me at all. And I'm just really happy to have it finished. It doesn't bother me that it's different. Let me just show you what I mean by one of them being slightly skinnier. See? About 2 inches, 1.5 inches there. But when I wear it, it doesn't bother me and I just love it so much. Mina, who designed this, is just a genius, and this yarn, it's glorious. This will always remind me of being in New York and being at Vogue Knitting Live, because that is where I went to the Green Mountain Spinnery booth and I got this yarn and I saw Mina's version of this shawl for the first time, and it's just really, really special. I'm thinking of taking it to Edinburgh with me if I can find kind of coordinating things with it. I do have other yarn in my stash that I want to use to make a coordinating garment with this. But I have so many other things that I want to take to Edinburgh, and I'm worried that it's not actually going to be as cold as I think it is, and if I take all of the really thick, heavy garments, I'm just going to be sweating like nobody's business. But finished object, really, really happy with it. It's going to get a lot of wear, I can tell, and I'd be very tempted to knit more of these, maybe for gifts, because it's just such a beautiful pattern, and yeah, love it. So that's my finished object for knitting, but let's move on to works in progress. And I'm going to start off this week with the project that has been taking up the majority of my time, that is becoming a bit of a bane of my life, and that is my Wainthropp cardigan by Andi Satterlund. This is the project that I myself am making for my own KAL, for the Andi Satterlund. I love the pattern, I love the designer, I love the yarn. But for some reason, this project has just been getting on my last nerve for the last couple of days. It's still not finished. I wanted it to be finished by now. I want it to be finished in time for Edinburgh Yarn Festival, because I am making it for the Blacker Yarns Pod KAL, which basically means if you knit a garment in Blacker Yarns, you can go to the Blacker Yarns booth. They are sponsoring the Podcaster Lounge at Edinburgh Yarn Festival and get a discount. I've never used their yarn before and I'm really enjoying it. The yarn that I'm using is Blacker Classic. That's the little ball band there. So it's 100% British wool and it has about 30% Blueface Leicester, and the colour that I'm using is called Pale Green, and it's beautiful woolen spun gorgeousness, and I absolutely love it. But yes, let me go into some details as to why this has been being a little bit irritating for me this week. So you may remember that in last week's episode, I was going on and on about how I'd finished the body of my cardigan and how I just had the sleeves to go and it was going to get finished, and I was really, really happy. So yeah, I cast on and finished the first sleeve. I'm very, very proud. Isn't it glorious? Look at how long it is as well. I love a long sleeve, and this is going to be really quite far down on my hands, kind of this length. I knit it exactly to the pattern. It's just come out that way. It's beautiful, and it also has a little bit of the lace detailing on the sleeve as well, which is fabulous. So this sleeve, as you can tell, took forever. It's been a long time since I've made a full length sleeve in a sweater. A lot of my sleeves have been just 3/4 length, so I don't think I was quite mentally prepared for just how irritating it can be to knit a sleeve this long. Like I said, I'm really happy with it. I love the length of it. It's just glorious, but it wasn't half a slog doing that. So I am not looking forward to having to knit another one. And in order to kind of get this blocked and finished for Edinburgh, I really would need to have it finished within the next couple of days. So that literally gives me probably some time today and tomorrow to finish the sleeve and do everything else that needs to be done on this sweater. So yeah, fun times, you guys. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure that I do it, or at least I'm going to try my darndest, because I want to wear this at Edinburgh Yarn Festival. It's what I knit it for specifically. But yes, finished the first sleeve. So this is the entire thing so far. I'm going to lift it over my head just to be antisocial so you can see it. But yes, that's the body of it and the sleeve. Don't have a sleeve on this side, so I need to start doing that. But once I finished the sleeve, I tried it on. And the sleeve fits beautifully, really, really nice. Like I said, nice length, nice kind of long length on my arms, which I really, really like in terms of a long sleeve cardigan. I can't bear things when they kind of finish about here because I have quite big hands, and I think that they're quite unsightly when they're just hanging out of a cardigan. However, one thing that I did notice was that the ribbing around the bottom of the cardigan was really quite tight when I tried this on. I should have tried it on earlier, you know, just being ridiculous and not actually taking care and trying on my garment as I go. But I realised that the problem that I was having with it was that I had used, as is stated in the pattern, a 1x1 twisted rib around the bottom of the cardigan. Because I'm using Aran weight yarn, that twisted rib was so stiff and unyielding that I really it was making me hate the cardigan a little bit. Also, I just used a regular bind off because I thought the sweater, in terms of the dimensions, it was supposed to be the right size. I didn't think that I needed anything super flexible around the bottom. Just did a regular cast off, and when I tried it on, oh my goodness, did it feel unyielding. Unyielding is very much the word around the waist. I was a little concerned that even with adding the kind of button bands on the front of the sweater, that it would fit all the way down until this rib section at the waist, and then it would just be too tight and it would kind of gape. And I really didn't want that because I've put a lot of hours of work into this garment. And also, I noticed when I kind of took the time to really go back and assess the rib, because a lot of this I knit kind of in evenings, just pick it up, do a couple of rows and then put it down again. When I actually looked at the twisted rib that I had knitted, I realised that for some reason, some of the stitches I must have just knit as regular knit stitches rather than twisted, and they looked awful. There was a whole row of stitches that were kind of leaning in the wrong direction, and for a lot of people they wouldn't mind. For me, I am so obsessive about my garments and how everything's put together. I knew it would drive me insane every time I kind of picked this up. So I made the hard decision, but I'm very, very glad that I did, to rip out all of the twisted rib along the bottom of this garment and to do just a regular 1x1 rib, which I've now done. And can we just see, look at how stretchy. I also used a stretchy bind off. I think it's just, is it Judy's surprisingly stretchy bind off? You know the one that I mean. That is the bind off that I used, and look, I don't think it gapes too much. It's not like super big and gapey. You can see it still has a nice uniform structure to it, but it just has so much more breathability and movement, and it's just made me love this again. So I am really happy that I did that. It has taken additional time out of the knitting of this cardigan, which is frustrating. But now that I've done that, I just love it so much more. And I know that that will make me want to wear it more. You know, there's nothing worse than, like I said, spending hours and hours and hours on something and it not being right, and you knowing that there's a mistake in there that you could have corrected. So if you need to rip things back, guys, rip things back. But I decided, as a little palette cleanser, before knitting the second sleeve, what I would do is start doing the button band. So I have done the right front button band as well. So I think I will do the second button band and the neckline before I cast on the second sleeve, because they're relatively quick and they're all, you know, that'll just be a nice little finishing touch. As soon as that's done, I'm going to get it blocked as soon as possible. I do have some buttons on order for it, and fingers crossed they will arrive in time for Edinburgh Yarn Festival. But to be perfectly honest, if the buttons literally get here just the day before, I'll probably just sew them on the train. You know, that's the type of thing that I do. So yes, I am intending to have this finished and ready for Edinburgh Yarn Festival. It is beautiful, I love it, but just keep everything crossed for me, you guys, because I do tend to set these ridiculous goals for myself when it comes to making things for specific events. But yes, everything crossed, and think positive thoughts for me. For my next work in progress, I actually have a new cast on this week. And yes, I know it's kind of ridiculous to have a new cast on when you're pretty much spending your whole knitting time, all your knitting time, on one garment that you really, really want to get finished as soon as possible. But this, I desperately wanted to at least make a start on it for a couple of different reasons. But it's actually a test knit that I'm really excited to be able to share with you this week. This is a test knit I was contacted about by my lovely friend Tracy of Norah George Yarns, who I always go on about. I absolutely adore everything that she does. And she is collaborating with the equally amazing Madeleine of Kingfisher Knits to make something really, really special that I am super excited about. It's called the Patronus Shawl. So yeah, Patronus, you guys, like in Harry Potter. And I just, from the second that Tracy started telling me about this shawl and she sent me pictures, I was just obsessed. I think it sounds wonderful. The idea is that this shawl pattern by Madeleine, the pattern is by Madeleine, the yarn is going to be by Tracy, is inspired by Patronuses in the world of Harry Potter. And I'm so excited because I got to pick a special kind of colourway. Tracy has dyed up a lot of different colourways around this theme, and I don't want to really say too much about the different ones because I think Tracy is probably going to be sharing a lot of them herself, but there are, I think, maybe 5 different colourways, and my goodness, guys, they are beautiful. But the idea is it's two different colours, one that's more tonal and one that is speckled, and they are to represent different characters within Harry Potter and their relevant Patronus. And the colourway that I actually picked is Harry and James's Stag is what it's called. So it's to represent the Stag Patronus, which was obviously Harry's Patronus and his father James's Patronus. And I'm going to show you the yarn first of all because I am obsessed with it. So my main kind of more tonal colour is this, and let me just see, yeah, that's it, more true to life. It's these beautiful, oh, rolly fur, beautiful deep mahogany colours with almost little bits of burgundy in there. I mean, you know why I would be obsessed with this. I love it. Oh, it's beautiful. So that's my kind of tonal, and to go alongside it, I have this speckly goodness. So you can see it has that kind of mahogany colour in here as well, but it also has flecks of beautiful greens and oranges. It's gorgeous. It's caked up beautifully. And here are the two colours together. So you can just get an idea of them. They are gorgeous. So I decided that I definitely wanted to at least get this started. This, I think, is going to be one of my main projects that I'm taking with me to Edinburgh to work on the journey, on the train. It's going to be a long time, and then maybe on the evenings and that type of thing. It's beautiful. The yarn, by the way, is 100% superwash merino. It's so soft and gorgeous, but this is how much that I have done so far. One thing that I would say, I think I made a slight mistake in terms of the yarn that I used first. I think for this pattern you're supposed to start with the speckled colourway rather than the darker kind of more tonal colour like I have, but this is it so far. So you can see I've got the main mahogany colour at the bottom with little bits of this speckled colourway coming through as you go, and I love it. I love knitting on it, I love the yarn, and the pattern is beautiful. It's an incredibly intuitive pattern. You don't have to think all that much when you're doing it, which is always lovely. And although I have said before that I'm not the biggest fan of endless garter, which this is a lot of garter stitch, this is the kind of knitting that I really, really love. It's just, you know, you'll work on it for a little bit and then there'll be a colour change, then a little bit more and then a colour change, and I just love it. I think Madeleine's patterns are beautiful. You know that I'm obsessed with Tracy's yarn, and this is obviously going to be a full entry into my own Harry Potter KAL, you know, keeping Harry Potter alive for a year. So I just love it. Danny of Little Bobbins is also test knitting this pattern. And yeah, I will obviously keep you posted as to when both the yarn is available and the patterns are available. But for now, I know that Tracy is also knitting one of these. In one of her own beautiful colorways, so check her out on Instagram. I will be updating mine on Instagram all the time. It is currently living in my Addicted to Socks Valentine's Doctor Who bag, which has police boxes and Daleks and all of that good stuff on it. But yes, it hasn't got much love other than the first day when I started knitting on it. When the yarn arrived, I wanted to get in there and at least get some of it done, because I knew it would get neglected when I started going full pelt on my Wainthropp cardigan. But it's beautiful. I love it so much, and I can't wait to have it as a finished garment. It's going to be glorious. For my next segment, I have been a very lucky girl again this week, and I do have a little bit of owl post. Ooh, little owls coming to bring me lovely, lovely things. I am so lucky. I can't even tell you. It's just so exciting. But I received in the post this week a couple of parcels from some incredible makers. The first is from lovely Kayleen, who has an Etsy shop which is called, I believe, littlebeancrochet.etsy.com. But she has a selection of beautiful hand painted yarns and got in touch with me and said that she would love to send me some. In particular, she wanted to send a prize for the Harry Potter KAL, because she has a lot of Harry Potter themed yarns, and I'm talking absolutely beautiful things. And I actually checked out her shop this morning whilst I was writing my show notes, and I've just seen that she has some one-of-a-kind sock blanks which are Harry Potter themed, and they look amazing. Oh my goodness, they look so good. But yes, do go and head over to her Etsy shop and check out some of the beautiful things that she has. But she sent me a couple of colorways of yarn, and I am kind of obsessed with them. First of all is the colorway that she sent for a giveaway. She sent one skein for you guys and one skein for myself, and the colorway is called, and I'm gonna probably mispronounce this, it is a Harry Potter reference, but I've got a cold and my brain's not working very well. Amortentia, I believe, is how it's pronounced, but that is, I remember the love potion that's talked about in I think it must be in one of Professor Slughorn's classes, maybe. Strongest love potion in the world in Harry Potter. And this colourway is just amazing. Look at it. Isn't it just amazing? So here it is. All of the pinks, all of the purples, all of the gorgeousness. Look at this. So you can see there's the label. Little Bean Loves, but it does say Little Bean Crochet.etsy.com on the bottom, but it's gorgeous. So this is my skein of this colourway. This is the one I'm going to keep, but like I said, we do have another skein of this for the Harry Potter KAL. So thank you so much, Kayleen, for sending that. It's glorious, and I'm obsessed with this. I think that this is amazing. Oh, I love it, and even more so that it's Harry Potter themed. That was the yarn that I was kind of expecting, but she also very cheekily threw in an additional skein for myself because she knows how much I love autumn colourways. Look at this. Is this just not, oh, it's perfect. I love it so much. Now this skein is called Wigan Tree, which I had to look up because I was pretty sure it was a Harry Potter reference, but it is. Basically, Wigan Tree is a type of magical tree in Harry Potter that's guarded by bowtruckles, so now you know. But this is a worsted merino, and it's 100% superwash merino. It's utterly gorgeous, and I have been wanting to make a lot more hats recently, and I think this is going to be perfect for a lovely hat project, so yay! Thank you so much again, Kayleen. It's so generous of you to donate such beautiful things, and thank you for the Harry Potter KAL prize. Thank you so much for your beautiful parcel, for the lovely yarn, and like I said, you guys, head over to her Etsy shop because there is a lot more gorgeous stuff there for you to check out. The other lovely parcel that I received this week really kind of it blew my mind a little bit. I was contacted by Caresse of Misty Mountain Make, and you've probably heard of her because she is very popular. She's very in right now on Instagram because she makes the most beautiful project bags. I personally have seen Caresse's bags, I think on Pin Feathers and Pearls with Candice, and also Brooklyn Knit Folk with Jacqueline. They have both had her bags previously, and I've always thought that they're beautiful. I'm pretty sure that it's those two podcasters anyway. But Caresse got in touch with me and said that she was actually making a series of Harry Potter themed bags, knowing that I'm a big fan of Harry Potter, and that she wanted to send one to me, which I just think is the kindest thing ever, for one. And I had no idea just how amazing this bag was going to be. I mean, I just can't even. I'm going to share it with you now. Look at it! Isn't it just the best thing you've ever seen? It's a Hufflepuff bag! And here, embroidered, this is embroidered, you guys. We have a little badger friend, and we have an H for Hufflepuff. Couldn't get my words out there, but look at it. Is this not, I mean, is this not just the best thing that you've ever seen? The inside as well is this beautiful floral, which is a mixture of white and black and yellow, which is just perfect for a Hufflepuff bag. And something that I noticed just recently is that there's another little pocket just in the back here, which you can see kind of there. It's that black fabric, little pocket as well, little kind of mini notions pouch. I love it so much. Since this arrived, it's been sitting on my kitchen table, which is where I spend a lot of my time in the mornings, when I'm having breakfast, when I'm sitting with Rolly, when I'm knitting, and it's just the perfect little box bottom. You can see how it just sits on my hand. It's perfect. It just sits there full of yarn and nice things. Oh my goodness. I can't even imagine how long it took to make this. It is so beautifully put together, and I don't have any other project bag like it. I just adore it. Thank you so much, Caresse. It's just everything I could have hoped for and more in a project bag. I love it so much. But on top of that, in the parcel, she also sent some yummy things, some treats and some chocolate. But she also let me know that her cousin is actually Katrina of Kettle yarns. I know, right? Talk about a talented family, put it that way. But I've never tried Kettle before, and apparently Katrina wanted to send me some yarn. And so she sent me this. Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. It's called Cherries and Chocolate, and it is called the Touch DK base. So it's a DK weight yarn, but it's my favourite blend, merino cashmere nylon. I love it. This colour is gorgeous. It's perfect. It's all the things that I want and more in a colourway. I love it so much. Look at her amazing label. I am so happy that I have some Kettle yarn. I've been wanting to buy some yarn from Katrina for the longest time, but it just kept slipping my mind, and now I have some. And now that I have one, it means that I need to go back and buy loads more because it's so beautiful, and oh, it is so soft. Again, this will definitely be, I think, some kind of hat. I need to find a really lovely DK weight hat. Any suggestions, you guys? Something that you think might work with this? Because I love it so much. But it has been sitting in my little Misty Mountain Maid project bag. I honestly just can't get enough of it. It makes me so happy, and I just can't thank you enough, both of you, Caresse and Katrina. It's just, I have no words, honestly. But yes, check them both out. I'm going to put both of the details of their shops down below so that you can go and badger them, no pun intended, to, you know, get your own beautiful things. But I'm just so in love with both the yarn and the bag, and honestly, I can't thank you enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to carry this around forever. But moving on from all of that loveliness, it's time for the return again, 2 weeks in a row, of a long lost segment, which is Sew What? Yay! I have been sewing again this week, you guys. I'm so happy. I'm so much more on a roll with my sewing than I have been in the longest time. But I'm happy to say I have a finished object this week. I can't believe it. For so long not really having any sewing at all, to having a finished object after just 1 week of starting again is kind of crazy. But the finished object that I have is my Cocoa dress, which I made using the Tilly and the Buttons pattern. And I can't tell you how much I love this pattern, you guys. I told you last week that it appeared to be very, very simple, and that I thought it wouldn't take me very long at all to finish the dress once I actually got started in terms of sewing. And I was entirely right. It took me less than a day to put this dress together, and I absolutely love it. I want about 5 more of this dress. I'm just going to rearrange slightly so that I can kind of show you, but here she is. So I went for the 3/4 length sleeve version of this dress. There we go, and it's relatively long. And I also added pockets. Aren't they adorable, these little pockets? I decided against doing the stripes in a different direction because I think they do show up quite nicely anyway, because there's another one on the other side, which you can see just here. I love this pattern, and I want to make about 100 more of these. This is so comfy. I was trying it on as I was making it, and I was literally just like, this is brilliant. Like, I could just live in these for the rest of my life. These and a pair of tights, and I'm pretty much golden. But yes, it comes just above my knee. It's really lovely and comfy. It's made with this Ponte de Roma jersey, which I purchased from Mood Fabrics in New York. And I love it. I've had a couple of people asking me about this recently on Instagram, saying that they love the pattern, but they're a little concerned that they don't have the right setup in order to in order to sew this. You do not need a serger or an overlocker for this pattern. The entire pattern, as it is set out in the instructions that you have, does not use a serger, aka an overlocker, at all. It just uses zigzag stitch on your regular sewing machine, and it recommends that you use a ballpoint needle, which is preferable when you're sewing with knit fabrics and jerseys and that type of thing. That's all you need. I didn't do any seam finishing on this other than using a zigzag stitch. So as you can kind of see around the neckline here, zigzag stitch. And if you can see on the inside, that is just a raw edge of jersey that's been trimmed quite close to the edge just there. I need to neaten that up a little bit, but I got too excited when I was sewing it. You use a combination of straight stitches and zigzag stitches, but that's all that you need. Obviously you can choose to serge if you have a serger and you want to do that. That's something that you can do, but it's really not a necessity with this pattern. It was so simple to do. Really, really lovely to fit because it's quite a relaxed fit, so you don't have to worry too much about it, you know, clinging in the wrong places or anything like that. It was a joy to work with, and I mean, I love it anyway because I love this fabric. From the second that I found this fabric in New York, I was just in love. You can tell it's got the orange, it's got the pumpkin kind of feel to it. It was definitely right up my alley, but I do want to make 100 of these in different colours because it's like having secret pajamas to wear during the day. It's so comfortable, it's so flattering. I love how this looks on me, and usually with kind of knit fabric dresses I get very conscious of it showing up any kind of lumps and bumps because it's more flexible in the fit, and it's got a lot of ease around the hip area, and it's not hugely fitted on the waist, which is a little odd for me, I must admit, but I'm liking how it looks with this. It's just glorious. Guys, I can't tell you how much I love Tilly and the Buttons patterns and how much I love her aesthetic. Honestly, if I could just make one person's patterns for the rest of my life, it would probably be Tilly's, and I would be more than happy to do that because she's just amazing. And I want to make 100 of these, as I've said many, many times. But yes, finished object. Can you believe it? I really can't. And now that I've shown it to you, I can get it all ready to pack and take to Edinburgh with me, which is so exciting. It's going to have its first foray into the wild at Edinburgh. Yay! So that is about it for all of the creative segments of the podcast. We're moving on now to my final segment, and as always, that is General Waffle. General Waffle. And for those of you who are new, my General Waffle segment is where I can waffle on about anything and everything that takes my fancy. And this week I am actually going to be doing a little update for you on my knitting journal. Hurrah! So you may or may not remember, kind of towards the end of last year, I was talking about journaling, how I was really getting into it. Bullet journaling in particular is super, super popular. I was doing a knitting journal, and everything was going really, really well. The bullet journaling has kind of gone out the window, I'm not going to lie. I do fully intend to start it up again pretty soon, but just with everything that we've been doing since Christmas, so just before Christmas we went to Florida, and then we had Christmas, and then January, New Year came around, and then we went to New York, and then I wasn't very well, and then we've been really, really busy kind of getting ready for Edinburgh, and it feels like everything's gone a bit manic. Plus I have got a lot of making done. I've been, you know, churning out garments and socks and now sewing again, and bullet journaling was kind of not a priority for me, so I do fully intend to start that up again and try and find some kind of schedule with it that works for me. But the one thing that I have been focusing on is my knitting journal, so I wanted to give you a little update because I've done a little bit with it when I last shared it with you, and I must admit there are a couple of projects that have not yet made it into here. I do need to spend a little bit of time putting in a couple of my newer projects later. But when I last shared it with you, this, by the way, it's got a little tear on the front. I need to have something nice to put on the front of here. Maybe a sticker or a postcard or something. But this is just an art notebook It's A5 size, and it's black hard card with plain white paper in it because I much prefer plain paper to lined paper, and I bought this from WH Smith. It's also ring bound, which is particularly appropriate because, as you can see, it's quite fat because I'm filling it with yarn samples and all kinds of good stuff like that. So when I last shared this with you, it was very much in its initial stages. So I started off with a couple of my first projects towards the end of last year. So I have my mittens in here, I have my Yule Ball socks, my pumpkin spice socks, and the layouts are relatively basic. I do use quite a bit of washi tape. I was experimenting with different forms of text, and I have my yarn samples in each one of these as well. I have found that the more projects I've done, the more I'm kind of experimenting with fun things. So for example, this is one of my favourite layouts that I did. It's for my toffee apple socks that I used the toffee apple sock set from Tracy of Norah George. I started getting more imaginative with my fonts and also the layout in general. I switched to using a fountain pen with black ink, which I've absolutely loved doing. Also have my bonfire night socks, which were knit using Gnome Acres in the Bertie Bott's Every Flavour beans. So you can see they're starting to get a little bit more imaginative and fun. Following that, I have my blaster cardigan, my pumpkin spice cardigan. I decided to start doing double spreads for any garments, so any large kind of things. So cardigans always have a double spread. And then I also have, look at this you guys, the wickerwork pullover, which has not been on the podcast for a very long time because I haven't worked on it literally since about October of last year. It's kind of crazy. But then we start getting into things that I don't think I've shared in terms of what's in here. And I wanted to share a couple of spreads with you that I am really just in love with. So in general, my layouts tend to have the same kind of information on them. I always put the pattern information, the yarn information, the needles that I've been using, and my kind of start and finish dates. I also have a little progress bar at the bottom. So the way that these work, I have 4 squares. I have my first square for when I have cast on the project, my second square when it is half completed, my third square when it's fully knitted and completed, and my fourth square is all to do with Ravelry. So you'll see, I'm not very good at Ravelry, you guys, in terms of updating my projects, but what you will see on a lot of my projects is that they'll have 3 but not the last one, or maybe half of the last one. What it means is I can use this for if I've created a Ravelry page and whether it's all finished and up to date on there. So some of them are only half filled in, which means I've created a Ravelry page for that project. And if the whole thing is, it means I've created a Ravelry page for that project, but I also have finished object pictures. It's a little bit complicated, but it works for me because when I'm looking through, I'm like, ah, yeah, that one doesn't have one yet. Next time I get a minute, what I'm going to do is go through each one of these and make sure that all of the information is up to date. When it comes to specific projects, I tend to do things a little bit differently, a little bit more interestingly. And one of the more fun pages that I created was for my Advent socks. You may or may not remember I bought an Advent calendar from the amazing Kayleen, and I made a pair of scrappy socks. So I had to have yarn samples from every single day. So as you can see on here, I added samples, little mini samples from each of those different ones. I also put the day next to them. I love this page, it just makes me really, really happy. I did a fun little title as well, it's kind of Christmassy for the Advent socks. And yeah, that's the total double page spread for the Advent socks. And I really, really love it. I'm just having a lot of fun being more experimental and just enjoying myself with it more. I find it very therapeutic writing up all this type of stuff. The next 2 are double page spreads. This is a pair of socks on each one. You can see I started getting some new washi tape. I got some sparkly stuff. So this was my Christmas Eve cast on from this year with my little yarn sample at the bottom. And you can see this is all completely filled in. So it means that this is entirely finished and also up to date on Ravelry. So that makes me very, very proud. And the next one is my first project for January. So it's my Expecto Patronum socks that I made using Baron Villa. And something that I've also started doing with a lot of my projects is adding this little guy onto Harry Potter KAL things. It helps me kind of keep up to date with which projects are for the Harry Potter KAL and that type of thing. So yes, the next page as well, it's all Harry Potter. I did actually call these my pumpkin pasty socks, but for some reason I wrote pumpkin spice latte socks, but they are for the Harry Potter KAL, so that's at the bottom as well. There's another one here. This is for Dumbledore's favourite, which is the ones that I'm working on at the moment. I haven't yet added a yarn sample to that, but that will be going just here. I mean, how can you not be happy looking at a layout like that in a journal? Isn't it just adorable? It just brings me so much joy. I'm not going to show you absolutely every layout in here because I think that would be getting a bit ridiculous, because I have been putting a lot of work into this recently. But I did want to show you one more thing that I have been doing on this, because I recently updated the journal to include the Find Your Fade shawl. And because that required such a lot of yarn, I realised that I wanted to do something special for it. So I did, and this genuinely makes me so proud, and I know that that's a little bit silly, but bear with me. This is my Find Your Fade page. So I have the details of the project and everything, and then I have each section, as you can see kind of here. This is section 1 with the yarn sample. And then at the bottom, you can see I've written what the name is and where it came from. And I've done that with every single section of the pattern. I'm kind of obsessed with it. It just makes me really happy. It feels like a really good school project or something like that. I know it's ridiculous, but the next doubles page spread has all of my yarn tags for that yarn. So I have everything from Vool and Vine yarns, Homespun House, Fawn and the Fox, Sweet Sparrow yarns, Shirsty Cat designs, Life in the Long Grass, and Knit by Numbers. So that project, just because of how ridiculously huge it was, had a double page spread. But yeah, that's kind of how I've been doing my my knitting journal, you guys. I hope you kind of find that interesting and not too dull. I really like seeing what other people have done with their journals as a form of inspiration, but for me, this is filling a gap that I didn't even realise that I had, in terms of, you know, being creative, writing things down. I love writing with a fountain pen and then creating little graphics to go with things, little pictures, sticking things in with washi tape, you know, all of that type of thing. It's really, really fun. I'm loving doing this. It's such a nice record of everything that I've done. It's helping me keep track of all my projects, of really appreciating how much work I put into my projects, because I sometimes feel like I haven't done anything. And then I look back at this and I'm like, I've already completed something like 6 projects since the beginning of this year, and it's only just March, and some of them are huge projects, and that is amazing. And I think that we should celebrate that a little bit more instead of just thinking that we don't do enough. So yes, I love my knitting journal. I definitely need something for the front cover, something fun for the cover, but yeah. Let me know if you are into knitting journaling as well. That would be really, really awesome. And if you have any pictures and that type of thing, tag me on Instagram. Let me know what you're doing. So yeah, you guys, that's everything that I have for you this week. Remember, like I said, that there won't be an episode next week. It'll be 2 weeks before the next episode of Inside number 23, but there will be other videos in the meantime to get you through. Definitely some Edinburgh vlogging. So there's that to look forward to. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Hit subscribe down below to be kept up to date whenever there's a new video on the channel. You know, you don't want to miss out on all of those Edinburgh vlogs, do you? But I hope you all have an incredible week. If you are intending to come to Edinburgh Yarn Festival, please, please, please come and say hello. I absolutely love meeting people in this community, people who watch the podcast. So I know it can be intimidating, but it will make my day if you come up and say hello. So please, please do. I am so excited. I'm actually going to go now and start packing for Edinburgh Yarn Festival. So I can't wait. But from me for now, I hope you all have an incredible week, like I said, filled with yarny goodness, sewing goodness, sending you all so much love, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye!